So when it comes to treasury bonds, when you have to look backwards, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, in the last 15 years, that means I'm going back to 2010, 2011. At the time, treasury bonds were offering a return of around 18%. 2011, we are about to go into an election. So election years, somehow interest rates go up. So the return on the long-term treasury bonds at the time were at around 10, 16 and above, 16%, 17%. But when you have to take the whole journey from 2010 to 2025, on average, the lowest return on a long-term treasury bond has been just 14%. That's after tax. So if we are to say 15 years ago, someone had the knowledge to invest in a treasury bond for the last 15 years, they would have enjoyed an average return of 15%. So if we are to use that basis to predict the future, to say 10 years, 15 years ago, over the last 15 years, this has been the return. We have been seeing a little bit of spikes that reach 18%, then comes back. Right now, we are in 2025, we are in a spike year of 17 plus. It's going to come back down. Be guaranteed it will come back down at one point. We have seen it in Kenya. In Kenya last year, they were in a spike of around 18%. Everything, almost in 2024, everyone who was buying a Kenyan bond was getting 17%. Right now, they are back to 13%. The recent auction that they had last week, they had around 13.5. So treasury bonds are like that. So when you understand that interest rates go up and they go down, you create a benchmark for your projections and say, if I know I'm going to always get a 16%, but not always, sometimes I'm going to get a 14%, sometimes I'm going to get a 13%. In Uganda, at least long-term bonds have never gone below 13.5 or 14%. So that allows us to kind of come up with the numbers we can use to predict the future, the next 10 years, when you have to make an investment. So right now, you're starting with 48 million. 48 million right now in Uganda, if you have 48 million and you're investing in a long-term bond, on averagely, you're going to get an after-tax return of 14.5 and above. But because we are predicting the future, we cannot use 14.5 and above. That's why I'm bringing the interest rate in here for my computations to 13.5. It's to set a predictable benchmark to know that in the next 5 to 10 years, at least at worst, interest rates will not go below 13.5. So it's understanding what has happened in the previous 15 years to predict with some level of confidence that this benchmark might be the benchmark for the future. So for as long as we still have the chaos and the risk premium in Uganda, we are going to continue having the 13.5 return and above. So that's the number you're seeing. So at 48 million, if you are to get a 13.5%, and every single year you are to collect around 57 million, because you're 4.8 million per month for a full year, it's around 57 million. And you have to deploy it in a treasury bond. And because your goal, you have set a long-term goal, it's a long-term vision, it's not short-term, and the members are buying into just that. As an investment, you're buying into that goal. That means in the first 5 years, by 2030, you would have hit around 500 million. And that's using a 13.5 return. But if the return is to go higher, then you're going to go into 600 million and above. That means if your projections are at 13.5, then you have to go back and say, every time I'm to buy a treasury bond and I'm to engage an investment advisor, then they should never buy for me a bond that is below 13.5 return. That they should first demonstrate to me that I'm getting a 13.5 return. Otherwise, anything below that, I do not achieve that goal. Then in the next 10 years from now, which takes us to 2034, 2035, you are at 1.4 billion. Now it's at that point the money that is compounding. At that point, the money you're getting in income is more than the money you are literally contributing and investing every single year. Because you can see after 10 years, you are literally making over 160 million in income, coupon income after tax, versus your 50 million that you are committed to contributing every single year. So that gives you a basis that if I'm to invest in a treasury bond, I'm not coming to play for 2 years. No. In 2 years, you are still starting off. The best thing finance gives you is the power to compound your investments. And it's not automatic. No. It's the discipline to say that every single year, every single 6 months, they give me a coupon. They pay us a coupon. I'm going to get that coupon and buy a treasury bond. And every single month, I've committed to contributing a 3 million, 4 million, 5 million into buying a treasury bond. I'm going to buy it. That's why someone is going to start with 50 million right now, and in 10 years, they are at 1.4 billion, 1.5 billion, with just a monthly contribution of just an extra 50 million, right? And because you have set the long-term vision that is maybe should outlast you, registered a company, everything, these are now people have shares, depending on how you have to structure your investment, you can say, what about in 15 years? Then you are looking, if you continue on the journey of contribution of your 50 million every single year into the treasury bond, in 15 years, that's what? 2.7 billion. Now, there is that element of how much will it be then? How much will it be then at the time? Of course, it's going to be something. Of course, it's going to be how much of it will it be in 15 years? The 2.7. That's when someone brings in the element of inflation, which we're going to talk about for a minute. Give me a second.